Hi everyone. Thank you so much for still being here, especially for those of you who've been subscribed for so many years. Today I wanted to talk about, or rather try to turn your attention to things that you care about, things that are taking space in your life, things that you pay attention to. So this is not a video trying to make you care more, but rather turn your attention to your values, to your priorities, to your goals, things that you spend your energy on, things that you maybe have in your life, but perhaps these things don't need to be in your life anymore, basically. Or rather, maybe there are things that you think that you care about, but you don't spend as much energy on as you would like to. So what do you care about? What I mean by this question is a question that goes a little bit deeper than potential surface answers that we might be giving to it. So of course you might say like, oh yeah, I care about my health, my family, or my friends. I care about my pets, or I care about my job. So these are very surface level answers, and probably most people will give the same answers to these questions, or similar answers to that. Like, I care about maybe money, or I care about my well-being, or the well-being of people around me. But once you go a little bit deeper, that's where you can start discovering your values. So if I ask you, let's say you answer that, oh yeah, I care about my health, then I can ask you why do you care about your health, right? What is it about your health that you care about? So this kind of deeper level inquiry can help you to understand where your priorities lie. And questioning is one thing, but once you look at your life, is it really what you're kind of manifesting in terms of what you care about? So if you do say that you care about your health, or you do care about your job, what is it that you're doing that helps you to pursue these things, or helps you to maintain these things, or helps you to experience good health or satisfying jobs? And very often that's where the conflicts can start for many people, because as I said before, like, we might be having the superficial values, superficial things that we supposedly care about. But once we look at our lives, we might not be doing much about these things, or these values, or these goals. So a very simple exercise that helps you to determine what is it that you're kind of actually caring about, or what is it that you're pursuing in your life, is to take a look at how you spend your time and what you're paying attention to during the day. So if you say that you care about your friends, for example, how are you pursuing these values in real life? What is it that you're doing that helps you to have these good relationships? And often, if you do notice this kind of maybe conflicts, or maybe realizing that, okay, on the mental level I'm caring about one thing, but actually I'm not doing much towards these values, I think it's basically helpful to take a look at what you're pursuing in your life. So what I mean by that is what you're paying attention to, what you're spending your energy to. And the thing is that we can't pay attention to absolutely everything. We can't keep spending energy on everything. We can't have a unlimited list of things that we can care about. So our time is very limited, and resources are limited. So if you pay attention, and if you care about things like, what's happening on social media, what's happening in the world, for example, that's already a way to spend your energy and time and your attention. So I think to kind of get clear in life and to really pursue what really matters to you is to spend this attention and energy on things that really matter to you. And it's not just about pursuing these things or setting goals or being disciplined, but kind of getting this alignment in between what your values are, what you care about, and what you're doing towards these values, towards these priorities and goals that you might be having. So that leads me to another possibility, that very often we might be giving these superficial answers that, okay, I care about my job or success or my family or friends. But once we start evaluating kind of deeper values and how we feel about these things, we might discover quite different things. So that might lead to another conflict. So we know that maybe we're supposed to be caring about these things, but we care about something completely different. We might think that, okay, discipline and the pursuit of success is good and I care about it, quote unquote, I care about it, but actually what I feel about these things on a deeper level is that I don't really care about these things as much. That's just an example that demonstrates that very often we might be pursuing things, we might be spending our energy and attention on things that we think we're supposed to be doing, we should be doing, because that's what the society values, that's what people around us value. But knowing ourselves and living more authentic lives is about pursuing things that matter to us, and that's often in conflict with what other people think we should be doing. So how do we even get to this point of letting go of these things that we're supposed to be doing and pursuing things that really matter to us, that are meaningful to us? Well, the thing is that when we do things to maybe please other people, or when we do things to feel like we are fitting in, that we are doing, a good job, that we are, mature adults. But what is actually driving us in life, what is giving us meaning, is pursuing things that matter to us, because doing otherwise can make our life feel simply empty and meaningless. And very often, like the more we basically chase and pursue these external things, and we try to fit in, and we try to do as other people want us to do, that's where basically these problems can start. That's where we can start maybe struggling with knowing what we want, knowing what gives us meaning. So I think that's why it's important for us to define what is it that we care about, because that helps us to discover what gives us meaning, what makes our life meaningful, what makes our life basically worth living. So at this point, life becomes not about, chasing some other people's goals or shoulds or approval or validation and feeling like we belong. But then life becomes this kind of inner journey of pursuing things that matter really to us. So it kind of becomes this journey of self-discovery, because shedding these external values, shedding values and goals that were maybe a little bit imposed on us, is actually about discovering ourselves and discovering our own values. And then we can start arranging our lives accordingly to these values. So in this whole process, of course, we need to be honest with ourselves. And that's sometimes kind of uncomfortable, maybe, because we might realize that on some level, maybe quite subconsciously or unconsciously, we've been pursuing these values that don't really belong to us, that we've been caring about things that actually we don't really care about. So it's not just this cognitive knowledge that's involved in this whole process, but also emotional knowledge. So emotions can give us this extra information on how we feel about things, how certain things make us feel, whether we like these values, whether we like these goals, or whether we prefer something else. So emotions is obviously not all there is. but it's just this extra bit of information that help us to determine what is it that we want and what is it that we care about. So as a final thought, a good exercise to try to help you to determine these underlying values and what is it that you would like to do with your life, which is determined by these things that you pay attention to, that you spend your energy on, is to ask yourself this question of what is it that you care about? And then that will give you one layer of information. And then to go deeper, try to find out why are you caring about these things? What is it that you may be getting from these things? And then you can go even deeper than that and ask yourself, why such and such? And that way you can start peeling these layers of maybe social conditioning, maybe self-deception, maybe things that you adopted but are not really reflective of how you really feel about these things or what is really important to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed already, I invite you to join my newsletter on my website. And by joining, you will get free information, free resources on your self-actualization journey, on your path of self-development. So once again, thank you so much for joining and watching today, and I'll see you next time.